Okay, this is the 6-site AirCube system as it arrives delivered. This is a box for the pop-up reservoir. It's a 60-gallon. That's the controller unit, and these are the actual AirCubes with the, and these have fabric pots that go inside of those. So what I'm going to do is unbox these, and I'll show you kind of what's in the boxes, and then I'll assemble the unit and then show you how it works. Okay, so this is the AirCube pots. These are the fabric pots, connectors, a ton of tubing. There's 6 of these. So the fabric pots, I'm not going to take it apart. They'll sit down on top of this, and they're not fully touching the sides. So when the water comes up and drains back out, the underside of the fabric pots can get air too, as well as the side. So that's encourages air pruning. It's a pretty neat idea. This bottom looks. Outlets. I don't know how this works yet, but that's just, I guess it's showing you what's on at any given time. And there's I think a timer, some fuse, some electrical, and this last piece is the reservoir. And again, I don't know how this fits together yet, but just showing you how it looks coming out of the box. Looks like it, yeah, it stands up like that. Feels like there's some support underneath within that, but I don't know yet. Yeah, there's some other parts in here too. Some parts list and instructions. These come out of the bag. Some odds and ends parts that go into putting this together. Okay, here's the completed system. I've got this in a 4x4 tent. I've got room for a radiant heater and a fan, 2 grow lights, exhaust, another fan. So tube comes in on one side, connects to all of these, loops around to the other side, comes out. They both go into the controller. Give you a quick overview of how this works. The fill pump is inside the reservoir. See at the very bottom. And I don't have it filled up all the way. It's a little over 20 gallons in there. I don't have any nutrients yet, it's just water. So fill pump is in here, pushes water into here, and that has a float valve or float here. When it comes up to whatever you set it to, it makes a connection and it turns the pump off. And the drain pump is inside of here, so when that runs, it's pushing water that's in here, that's in the buckets, back into the reservoir. There's also kind of a float sensor in the bottom, so on the drain function, when these lower enough, it will turn the drain pump off. And both your pumps plug into this. You can manually fill or drain or use the timer. The top position is fill, middle is timer, bottom is drain. The top and bottom are the manual functions. So I'm going to do a fill and a drain just to show how this works. And of course I don't have the fabric pots in here yet, but I just want to show how it fills up. So when I'm ready to use it, I'll put the fabric pots in my plants, and I'll show you my plants too. that I'm going to put on here. They're in the air garden now, not quite big enough to transplant yet, but I'll show those to you. But I want to start the fill. I'll fast forward through so you can see how it works. So this is the manual fill setting. It's water's coming in from the reservoir. And then I'll show you how it fills up. You can already see it starting to kind of bubble up through here. Okay, and so this is once I get where I've got the float valve set or float sensor set, it turned off automatically. But you can adjust that up or down if you want the level to be higher or lower. So you can determine that. So that's the fill function. Switch it to drain. Let's see, drain cycle. So it's pushing water back into the reservoir. And I'll show you how that works. All right, so you can see how it drained. It takes about 7 or 8 minutes to fill a drain to the level that I have it set for. And there's a tiny little bit left, but it's below the these parts. So the fabric pots are going to be sitting on there, and that allows them to get air on the bottom, so they'll still air prune. I also want to mention that the way I've got it set up, I have the growing pots in here and the reservoir and controller outside. You can configure this however you want. That's just how I have mine set up because I didn't have room. I don't have a big enough tent to put all that inside of here. Also, another thing to mention, the rate that you fill and drain depends on the type and maturity of your plants, and also the grow medium, or actually the supporting medium, not really grow medium, whatever your plants are in. So like if you're using clay pebbles, that's going to drain faster, so you probably fill and drain more frequently with it versus like cocoa core, which is going to retain some water a little bit longer, so you do less often with that. You have to kind of dial in based on all of those factors. But let me show you the plants that I'm going to put in here. And once I get those transplanted, I'll do another follow-up video showing how I have the pots set up and how the plants are doing. Okay, so here's my, I've got 6 Ahi Largo Ricardo plants. One's a little bit bigger. I need to pull this one out so that these others can get some light. I don't know why this one grew so much faster. I moved it around thinking maybe it was one part or another was getting more light, but since this one here is not getting as much, but the other ones are coming along okay. Anyway, so when they get a little bigger, I want to transplant them to the AirCube system, and then I'll show you the progress from there. And the company is giving me a discount code to share with my viewers, so I think it's they haven't sent it to me. By the time I publish the video, I'll have it, but I think it's a 5% discount code. So I'll put a link in the description with that code, and you can purchase it. This was sent to me by a company called GrowAce, and I'll put a link to their website and to the product, product page for the product that I'm demonstrating. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you like that. Please like, comment, and subscribe.